Today on Fulton Cold Case, we take a look at the case of Deandre Anthony Holmes, a husband and father of three who was gunned down as he visited a friend. Today, we'll hear from his widow and from a College Park police detective about the case and about the monetary reward offered for the solid clues in the case. I'm Kenya Johnson. Join us for this edition of Fulton Cold Case after the break. Welcome to this edition of Fulton Cold Case. I'm Kenya Johnson. Today we're asking for the public's help in a case that left three children without a father and a wife without her best friend, her husband. We're talking about Deandre Anthony Holmes. College Park police say it was back in July 2013 that the 37-year-old attempted to visit a friend when gunshots rang out and Holmes was gunned down. Detective Marcus Denard is with the College Park Police Department. Welcome to the show. Detective, can you tell us a little bit about your investigation of this homicide?
Well, this homicide occurred back in 2013, and basically the details that I was able to develop was that our victim showed up at this apartment, apparently a friend of his, and they was actually getting ready to do some social events together, and immediately when the door was open, my victim was bomb rushed at the door and ensued in a fight, which led to him being shot.
Now, why is this case particularly troubling to solve?
It's very troubling because no one has came forth. Several canvases were conducted, as well as several other, trying to exhaust every lead that we could, but no one's came forth yet.
So what type of tips are you looking for to solve this case?
I'm looking for witnesses that might have been there at the time of this incident that wouldn't talk then. I'm looking for any and everything that I can get right now from the public.
Now, so far, where has your investigation led you?
Thus far in the investigation, we've gotten a motive, of course, with it actually being robbery right now. That's what I'm leaning towards, robbery right now, based on the one eyewitness that was there during this incident, but nothing further.
This is particularly troubling because of the violence and randomness possibly of this event. How has the College Park community responded to this violent act?
Well, the community itself is very concerned about this crime, but again, none of the community has came forward yet.
Thank you, Detective Denard with the College Park Police Department for your work on this case.
You're very welcome.
When we come back, we'll hear from the victim's wife. Stay with us. Welcome back to Fulton Cold Case. We've been talking about a case from College Park that left a 37-year-old husband and father dead. And now, over 2 years later, his wife is still asking the public for their help to give her family the closure they so desperately need. Keisha Holmes is the widow of Deandre Holmes. Thank you for being here, Ms. Holmes.
Thank you.
You've suffered a great loss. Can you tell us about your husband as a husband and father?
My husband's very dedicated, loving, brilliant young man.
What type of husband and father was he?
A very good husband and father. We have 3 children, always supportive, and the backbone of the family.
This crime must have come as a shock. Do you have any suspicions about what happened in your husband's murder?
I do not. I don't understand why someone would do that.
What would you like to know about this crime?
I want to know why and who's ever responsible to be brought for justice, because we do need closure.
When you first got the call that this occurred, what happened?
The call I received was concerning how soon could I get to a hospital because my husband was there. I never would have imagined it was due to him being killed.
How has your family been since this happened?
We're devastated. We cannot recover. It's a day-to-day struggle. My oldest is 16, my youngest is 3. So we struggle every day. We're still very much devastated.
You've been very vocal advocating for solving this murder. How have you worked with the College Park Police to get any tips?
Well, I reach out to the detective that's on his case, and he's very thorough. He's very interactive. He's very diligent in trying to get answers and to find out what happened and to just get this case closed.
Ms. Holmes, is there anything that you would like our viewers to know about how they can give tips and possibly solve this case?
Any tips, anything that you've heard, anything that you've known, overheard, seen, to please come forward and just say what you know or what you've heard, because it does impact someone's life, and we want closure.
Ms. Holmes, I know that this has been a difficult ordeal for you and your family, but we certainly thank you for coming on this program.
Thank you for having me.
When we come back, we'll have details on how you can help Crime Stoppers and police catch Mr. Holmes' killer and at the same time get a reward. Stay with us. The Fulton County District Attorney's Office, along with a number of law enforcement agencies, partner to investigate and ultimately solve crimes in the community. And in almost every case, the cooperation of witnesses is what helps to obtain justice. That's why we've joined forces with Crime Stoppers of Greater Atlanta. And joining us is Officer Gerlanda Buchanan Austin. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, how are you doing?
Officer Buchanan, can you tell us how citizens with valuable information that may solve a case, how can they submit their tip?
They can call in, or they can submit it on the web, or they can do it via text. What they do, they call in and give information, and the information is distributed out to whatever jurisdiction that it needs to go to.
Suspect. What type of tips are you looking for to solve these cases?
Mostly felony tips about felony crimes. We want to have, like, if they have the location of where the person may be, the name, any specific information we take.
Now, if a caller called in, can they remain anonymous or do they have to give their information?
The program is totally anonymous.
Crime Stoppers has been a great tool that police officers use. Is there a reward if callers are able to help solve a crime?
We offer up to $2,000 for tips. Depending on the severity of the crime, usually, like I said, ranges from $1 to up to $2,000.
Now, if callers can remain anonymous, how can they get paid?
We assign the tip number, and with that tip number, the person keeps that number in order to check on the status. And if their tip leads to the arrest and indictment of the suspect, that's how they receive their rewards.
Now, are there any tips that are just too small to be of value?
No, we take mostly all tips. If it has some type of important information, we take them. If they don't have any detailed information, sometimes we still take those and send them to the investigator for them to figure out or let us know if it will help or not.
Now, is Crime Stoppers connected to any particular police department, or how far do you all go to accept tips?
We pretty much take tips from the metro area. And if we get tips from, like, out of state, a lot of times we will send them to whatever that state's Crime Stoppers organization is, if they have one.
Now, Crime Stoppers, how long has it been in operation, and about how many cases have they solved?
Crime Stoppers has been in effect since 2007, and we have arrested, I believe it was over 1,023 22 felons.
Officer Buchanan Austin, do you find that a reward is often an incentive to get tips from the public?
Yes, I do.
And why do you think that is?
Because a lot of the times they can stay anonymous, and so that makes people feel more comfortable on giving information.
Officer Buchanan Austin, is there anything that you'd like to share with our viewers in case they have any information on this case or any other case?
If you have any information about this case or any other case, please call Crime Stoppers, and if your tip leads to the arrest of the suspect, you can receive a cash reward.
Thank you, Officer Buchanan Austin, and to all our guests for coming to the show today. If you have any information on cases, including the cold cases you've seen right here on this program, then please contact Crime Stoppers. If your information leads to an arrest and conviction, you can be eligible for thousands of dollars, and you can remain anonymous. You can also contact the District Attorney's Office at atlantada.org. Well, that wraps up this edition of Fulton Cold Case. I'm Kenya Johnson. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.